Hi everybody, Dan Jackson here back with Trigger Point. I'm here to show you another release. The muscle we're going to work on right now is the peroneals and peroneals. It's just on the lower aspect of the leg again, between the knee and the ankle on the outside of the leg. Extremely important for runners to always be releasing this or working on it. This muscle is restricted or inhibited in any way. You're going to get potential injury up the leg, so in the knee, the hip, or even the lower back. Also, shin splints can definitely be a cause of an inhibited or restricted peroneal muscle. So we're going to show you how to work on that and release that so that doesn't happen. We're going to use the grid, which I'm holding here. You're going to break it up into two zones. The zone 1 is going to be from the ankle up to mid shin, and then zone 2 is going to be from that mid shin spot up to just below the knee. In each zone, you want to do two things. You're going to roll over the muscle about a second per inch, so nice, slow and controlled. Breathe through that as well. You'll get a nice release through the breathing. When you get to the top part of zone 1, so mid shin, you're going to stop. You're going to compress a little bit more, so put a little bit more weight on it, and what you're going to do is something called cross friction. Cross friction is like pinning the muscle down and then scraping or sliding it over the foam roller, and that's just going to help increase mobility in that tissue and help hydration and blood flow get back in there to help the muscle function properly. You're going to do that in each zone. One thing I want to point out is when you get to a tight or tender spot, I want you to sit on that spot. Maybe if you can handle it, put a little more compression on it and breathe through that tension. You'll see that it can release if you allow it and breathe through it, and that will really open up that muscle to function properly. Okay, let's get started. Let's show you how to do it. So I'm going to have her sit on the floor. We're going to get her legs both out in front of her. We're going to use this part of the leg right here, so I'm going to get her to bend her knee and bring it out. I'm going to place the grid underneath it, close to the ankle. There's two versions of this that you can do with this opposite leg. You can have this opposite leg exactly where it is. If you have someone that has very tender runners, you might not want to put too much weight or pressure on it. If someone can handle a little bit more or wants a little bit more, you can take this leg, bend the knee behind you, and then you can kind of sit your hips up on top of the foam roller to get a little more pressure or downward weight onto it if you feel like you need it. So we're going to go ahead and start with the lower part of the leg, zone 1. And you're going to start on top, just above the ankle, and you're going to roll to about midway up the shin. And a nice slow roll, so about a second per inch. You're going to do that 4 times. Good. 3. And 4. When you get to the back up to the top, you're going to do those cross bridges. So all I want you to do is I want you to compress a little bit more, and then I want you to actually slide this leg back and forth along the foam roller. Breathing is similar to the gastroc and the soleus. You want a nice controlled in and out breathing technique. If you do find any pressure spots, you can sit there and breathe that out and try and get that tissue to relax a bit. So you do 4 of the cross bridges, which she's done. Then we're going to go to the second half, which kind of rolls just underneath the knee. So you don't want to go up into the knee bone tissue there. You want to stay below that. So you're going to roll 4 times nice and slow, even a little bit slower than that. Good. Okay, let's go 1 more. Good, and stop there at the top on that 4th one. You do the cross bridges, so we're going to sort of put a little more compression down on top, a little more weight, and you're going to, there we go. So you can see how she's kind of pushing down and sliding across the foam roller. So you just want to grab that tissue and just kind of work it across the foam roller and just try and sort of get that tissue to move around a little bit more. You can do that 4 times, and you're breathing. Good, and then you're going to release